Cam and I just adopted our first pet this past weekend, so if you hear a bunch of noises in the background, that's probably her. And here she is. This is Nacho. We rescued her from the Humane Society and she is the sweetest. We love her. So today we're talking about how to make keto work for you. If you've done any research into keto so far, then you found that there are a lot of opinions. There are a lot of different takes on how to do it well. So this video is to help kind of navigate through that, how to make it work for you. The biggest misconception with starting keto is thinking that you have to also calorie restrict when you get started. This is probably the worst thing that you can do for your body, as I outlined in my other video a few weeks ago. I was caught in this trap as well when I first started and was calorie restricting. It eventually caught up with me to where my moods were just totally off. I had no energy anymore. I definitely wasn't in ketosis because I wasn't maintaining the level of fats that I needed to stay in ketosis. So if you're starting out, don't think that you have to also calorie restrict. Eat as much as you need to until you're full. It's really hard to overeat on keto because you're not filling up with empty carbs. You're filling up your belly with good fats and proteins, which will keep you full longer. So don't worry about overeating or gaining weight unless you've been on a calorie restricted diet beforehand. Then as you start to eat more, you probably will gain a little bit of weight at first, but then your body will even out. It'll understand that it's able to function on more calories and everything will even out in the end. So when you first get started, it's really important to keep your fats super high. Try to stick with at least 12 servings of fats per day. You want to stick with really good quality oils like coconut oil, olive oil, butter and ghee are also great. A tablespoon of any of those is considered a serving, as well as a half an avocado is a serving of fat, 2 eggs is a serving of fat. It roughly evens out to about 15 grams of fat if you are using an app when you get started, just to kind of give you an idea of how much that is. So make sure your fats are really, really high when you get started and that you're eating enough food. This will get you into ketosis, it'll get things started for you, and then from there you'll be able to kind of experiment. If you have a blood ketone meter, then you're able to track whether you're in ketosis or not. And once you've been in ketosis for a few weeks, then some people find out that they need a little more carbs, some people need a little more protein. If you're finding that you're not feeling quite as well on so many fats, but you are in ketosis, you can try carb up practices. And this includes eating a regular fatty breakfast and lunch. And then for your dinner, you sub out the fats that you would eat on your plate for healthy carbs like sweet potatoes, berries, things like that. So you don't want to have super high fats along with the carbs for your dinner. You want to swap those out. Some people find that this helps reset their appetite to where they're not super hungry all the time and gives them a little more boost of energy, especially for athletes. If you're doing anaerobic exercises like weightlifting, HIIT exercises, and things like that, then you'll need a little bit more carbohydrates to fuel those types of movement. If you're interested in learning more about how to do carb ups properly or find the right mix of proteins, fats, and carbs for your body, I would highly, highly, highly recommend this book. It also has meal plans, recipes, lots of great things that you need to get started and make keto work for you. So hopefully that helps too. So really work on finding what level of carbs, fats, and protein work for you in order for you to stay in ketosis. So if you're able to have sweet potatoes and berries and things like that and you stay in ketosis, then that works for your body. Some people can't handle those higher carbs. Some people do really well with it and feel a lot better. Most of the time people live with food sensitivities without realizing it because our bodies are just constantly working on fighting that inflammation and response, and we don't realize what exactly is causing it. So for me, I've discovered that I have a dairy sensitivity. I'm still working on experimenting and figuring out what exactly is the cause, but I noticed that when I eat dairy, it's not a digestive issue, it's more of an energy issue, to where when I eat certain dairy, I will become almost instantly like really lethargic. My eyes are just super heavy. I'm okay with heavy creams and butters because those are mainly dairy fats that are left. And I found that block cheeses and things like that are sometimes okay as well. So I'm still working on finding out what dairy works for me and what dairy doesn't. So in the process of figuring out this dairy issue, I ended up cutting it out completely, all dairy, for 2 or 3 weeks. And in that time, I replaced those dairy fats with coconut products, coconut milks, coconut creams, things like that to get my fats up. And I found that coconut also gives me an issue. That definitely gives me digestive issues. So I've been staying away from coconut now too. Most people experience issues on keto because they have food sensitivities that they are not aware of. So keep that in mind. If you think you are having issues as well, try cutting out certain foods for a few weeks, see how you feel, and then reintroduce them back into your diet and see how that affects you. Another issue that people get caught up on is reaching their ideal weight. And most of the time, your ideal weight and your happy weight are totally different. So for me, as I was getting into keto and seeing the weight loss and getting excited about that and trying to lose even more to get to my ideal weight, I was finding that I was having a lot of issues. This is when I was doing a lot of calorie restricting and my body was not doing well with that. So as I started realizing that my ideal weight was not healthy for my body, and I started eating a lot more, I started gaining a little bit more weight because my metabolism mainly was shut down from the calorie restriction that I was doing. So in this time, my body has been relearning to work on higher calories, more nutrients, and the scale has said that I have gained 10 pounds. I've really been learning to step off the scale more and evaluate my journey based on my health, how I'm feeling, how my clothes are fitting, the energy that I have, all of those things instead of what the scale is telling me. Because as I'm allowing my body to heal through ketosis and getting enough nutrients and energy that my body needs to be healthy, it will then end up shedding any extra weight if it's holding on to any. So your happy weight for your body to ensure that it's healthy and functioning properly might be higher than what your ideal weight is. My main focus has been healing my body, and that has included not stepping on the scale quite as often as I used to. Another big thing in keto is intermittent fasting. This is something that should come naturally. If you're getting started on keto and you're hungry, then you need to eat. Don't think that because you're doing keto, you also need to intermittent fast and force your body into that, because that can really cause a lot of damage. Your body will tell you when it needs fuel, and your body will tell you when you can intermittent fast. I personally have been able to intermittent fast one time, and I just naturally woke up in the morning. I wasn't hungry. I had a coffee and I was able to go until 2 o'clock in the afternoon before I felt like I needed to eat again. Other than that, most of the time I wake up hungry for breakfast and I listen to my body and I eat. So don't think you're not ketoing hard enough if you're not intermittent fasting. If your body needs fuel, then eat. If you're forcing intermittent fasting on yourself, it's going to cause cortisol and insulin responses, which will lead to the storage of more fat on your body. So really the main gist of this video and what I'm trying to get across is to do keto the way that works for you. Listen to your body. Don't force yourself into any fasting regimens or anything like that, because this is what Susan is doing and that's what works for her. If it doesn't work for you, don't do it. If you find that you need more carbs in your day, then have a carb up meal. If you find that you need a little more protein, do that. The main goal is to get and stay in ketosis so that you can heal your body, shed any extra weight as a result of that. Also, if you're going into keto for a complete lifestyle change, which is what I recommend because popping in and out of it can really add a lot of stress to your body, then stay away from telling yourself you can never have sugar again, you can never have cake again, you can never have ice cream. First of all, that's unrealistic. Life happens. Second of all, that's what leads to binge tendencies. So if you're going into this as a lifestyle change and having a piece of cake at a birthday party or going to get ice cream every now and again is going to keep you on track and going to help you stick with this as a lifestyle, then do it. If you're restricting your calories, your body is going to be starving of nutrients and it's going to do what it can to get those in, mainly by causing intense cravings to where you end up binging, and binges typically happen on unhealthy processed foods. So make sure you're eating enough. Don't restrict your calories. If you need to have a piece of cake every now and then to keep on track, then go for it. Remember, this should be a lifestyle change and not just the next diet that you're doing. And sometimes life includes cake. Thanks guys so much for watching. Go ahead and give this video a thumbs up if you liked it. Subscribe below. You guys know the drill. I so appreciate you watching and supporting, and I'll see you guys next time. Also, look at my kitty. She's the cutest.